southern Florida, we put out the fires of our traditional grounds. They were to never be started again, and they were never to be revisited again. And so, as I was elected the chief and brought a different perspective that we need that information for the strength of our generation now and in the future, I had to negotiate that with them, and not all of them agreed with me. And recently, I was with Hickory Ground members and the president, Miko, of the Hickory Ground in Oklahoma, and he said, "This will be our last trip here. We won't come back." I didn't ask why, but I knew why, and so we had a ceremony there, a private ceremony. But we did those ceremonies throughout all of this area before we left, if we could. Now, some didn't have the opportunity to do that. We were so rushed and had this arduous, very tragic trip that we had to make, in which, I know, in Muskogee Creek, a third of our people did not make it. Some committed suicide along that trail. Some died along that trail from exhaustion or starvation. Some were shot and killed. So when we got to Indian Territory, in a sense, we recreated what we had back here. So the towns that were back here, you go to Oklahoma, you'll see those towns and those names because we kind of realigned. I was Lower Creek. I'm Coweta tribal town and Wind Clan. So in Oklahoma, on my mom's side of the family, it's Coweta, Oklahoma now that we go to, and there is no ground there. So as the leader, I have no ground. You go by your mom's grounds, and but I go to Tallahassee, Wobogai, who's my dad's ground, and my family. But I'm mixed, being Cherokee and Creek. So when I mentioned earlier, my second great-grandfather, Stephen Cordry, was here. He made the trek to Indian Territory. I was so fortunate. The women of our lives, Chief, did live a long time, and my great-grandmother lived to be almost 102. And she would tell me a lot, and she would tell me about the Rogers, the McSpaddens, all these family victories, the Cordrys. I mean, she knew so much. And she gave so much in her life. And we recognize the veterans, and want to thank them as well. We call her Granny, but my granny, she had 5 sons. All 5 served in in World War II. Only 3 returned. And that didn't sit with me very much when I was young, but as I got older, I thought, how would it be to have 2 of your sons not come home? And know that for her life, just one generation before, the same thing happened to her parents. So I don't want to just be negative in what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is for a reason, because that should never be forgotten. We should honor our past. We should recognize that, and we should be proud of that. We made difficult decisions. We make difficult decisions today. Our sovereignty was at risk back in the early 1800s, and we made trips to New York and Washington, D.C. We do that again today. Our sovereignty is at risk, especially with Muskogee Creek. We have a case in the Supreme Court that will be decided next spring that will define our future and probably the future of the other 4 tribes, and maybe tribes all throughout the United States. And be the principal chief to have that case there. No wonder my hair is white, but it's hard because I carry that burden. Am I going to come out on the winning side of this thing and be able to lead the tribe in one direction, or is the decision going to go the other way, and I'll forever have that legacy of being the one who took that case to court and to the United States Supreme Court? But we will survive and we'll persevere, as we always have. And I'll go back to, again, what Charlie said, is that, yes, we did work hard. we had that life that I think probably reflected what they had here. Because we did have to work hard every day for what we had. So on this homecoming, again, I want to thank everybody that's been involved at the local level, the state level, the national level to have this happen, because it is a historic event. It's a history that we're all involved in, and something that we will never forget. I'm so pleased to have my royalty here with me today, and to observe this event, because you will be teachers, you'll be leaders, and you will need that information, just like it was told to me when I was little. We will need that. So enjoy the day. I look forward to talking with many of you, and we'll be here today. And so I want to give my thanks to each one of the leaders for taking the time. You're all busy, and but that shows the meaning of this event for them to be here today. So, Mado.